our brand story. So the brand story of Woodford is that by batching together barrels from different days of production that are warehoused in different warehouses, different floors, by batching them together, we can build a consistent product that will taste the same, great from batch to batch. Most people, when they hear that, they go, so what's the big deal? Every day don't you make the same product? In a distillery like your all's kitchen, if you're making an all-natural product with no computers, no scientific controls, by hand, handcrafting, using the sense of smell and taste as your only controls, every day you're going to make the product slightly different. It's a real product. But the consumer expects the same taste every day. So batching barrels, once again, from different days of production is going to allow us to build a batch to have this consistent flavor profile. Now, the great example is 8 glasses in front of us. And I'm going to read the dates of production of each barrel. But each one of these contains Woodford Reserve, straight bourbon whiskey. It's the same grain recipe, the same water, the same fermentation, the same distillation, the same maturation in oak barrels. And you will be surprised, those of you who have not done this before, how different some of these barrels are. Why are they different? Because, as I said, every day the new spirit is slightly different, but we make one barrel from one tree. So each of these barrels is its own unique character. This barrel could have been made from a white oak tree that we obtained from the Ozarks in Arkansas. This barrel could have been obtained from made from a tree we obtained from the Appalachians in West Virginia. It's the same species of tree, American white oak, but where it grew and how it grew is going to have impact on the final product. There are different terroirs of white oak, Appalachian, Ozark, Northern, and even within those terroirs, say we go to the Ozarks, and a white oak is growing on top of a hill, and at the bottom of the hill there's another white oak. They're in the same half acre. They can be very different, because this tree is on top of the hill and it's got plenty of sunshine, but a little water because the rainfall runs off the hill, and the bottom of the hill it's in the shade, but it gets plenty of water. So the tree will have different properties. So that's why we batch together. We have unique warehousing that dates back to the 1870s. It was built to be heated when the weather goes cold. It's like being in the kitchen. Do you want your soup to be cold or you want it heated? It tastes better when it's hot. Well, whiskey matures better when it's warm. Heat drives maturation. Your typical bourbon warehouse is made out of wood, corrugated iron siding, no insulatory capacity at all. In the winter, it gets cold outside, it gets cold inside. And the whiskey literally goes in the refrigerator. It goes to sleep. But at our warehouses, because they're made out of stone and brick, 2-foot thick walls, they were built to be heated. So we heat from the floor up. Our radiators are under the floor. So in the summertime, when the heat is coming from the sun, the top floor against the roof is the hottest, and as you go down floor by floor, the first floor is the coolest. And in the winter, when the heat is coming from the floor and it's cold above, there's overcast days, the hottest floor is the first floor, and as heat rises it cools, so the coolest floor is the top floor. So every barrel is exposed at some point to the same temperature profile. So we're rotating the environment inside the warehouse. Typically, a barrel in another warehouse, in another distillery, on the first floor, which is always the coolest floor, cool in the summer, cool in the winter, the cool environment draws alcohol out, and the proof will decrease in cold floors of a barrel. And in the warm floors, the heat drives the water out, alcohol remains, and the proof increases. So upper floor barrels increase proof, lower floor barrels decrease proof. Middle floors are pretty much, they don't change. But at Woodford Reserve, because of our unique heating process, every single barrel loses water, proof increases. So that's part of our unique flavor profile. It's thoroughly cooking the whiskey. It's not cooking, of course, but it makes it richer, and that's one of our secrets. And that's why we have such great diversity throughout our population. All right.
Chris, I'm sorry, one question.
Yeah.
What's the average angel share loss
Yes. Because of our unique heating process, on average, after 7 years, and that's our average, because here we have some barrels that are over 8 years old and some barrels that are 6.5 years old. In 7 years, we lose 50% of a barrel. So if you're an optimist, it's half full of great whiskey. We don't allow any pessimism. So every barrel is half full of great whiskey. That's unbelievable. Our competitors, they're losing 20%. We've lost 50%. That's the way it is. Absolutely crazy.